everybody, welcome back to Zahara. Last week I showed you how this system worked, and since then, well, not much has changed. However, things have changed, because what you're seeing now is the transformation of this building stripping itself apart. That's right, today's video I'm going to be going over the redstone of Zahara and how it works in comparison to the Hermitcraft's Sahara from Season 6 of Hermitcraft, built by Mumbo, Grian and Iskal. Now, just remember that this system is completely different to Sahara in the way that it works. We don't have any item decoders, we just use lecterns. No books, no throwing things into chests, you get the idea. If you missed the last video, I shall link it below. For now though, let's actually go and take a look at just the redstone itself in the Zahara system. Now, one thing I forgot to mention in the previous episode is you can combine orders from these two, but you can do two orders or two orders. What you can't do is combine orders from here and here. Reason being is because when you send off the chest using this button here, what happens is round the back, a little sorting system deposits the items, your items get taken through, and then the chests get replaced. Let's say, for example, you were to buy some ice. Let's say there was ice in this side. And let's say over here you were to buy some glass. Now, obviously, these would be in shulker boxes. But what would happen is, you would send the items off individually. So you can combine orders from both sides, it's just a little bit more confusing. So once you've pressed your orders, and again, you can combine orders from here freely and easily. Once you combine your order and send it off, what will happen is, if you try and send off the other order, nothing will happen. All that will happen is you may lose your old order and the old order will come back. Now, granted, you will have the blue ice, but if you get your timings wrong, then you will not get the blue ice or a chest at all. And you'll probably find that your items will be mixed up and the chests will collide with each other. So again, sending this back, we do in fact get our glass. So it does work to combine orders, but it is a little bit confusing. So let me try and show you that again. Let's first of all have a look at this system here. So what's happening here is when I am selecting an item, so if we go back to, let's go to number 5. So as you can see now, this block has moved, it is now on number 5, and what this is this is an item, I think it's a decoding system, using the, this is one of Mumbo Jumbo's design, using the lectern. So what we're doing is we have a block with a comparator, and then we have a line of 15 pieces of redstone going like this. Then we have a block coming up with another line of redstone, and underneath coming down a redstone on, I call that 2 ticks delay. What it actually means is you place down a repeater and you tap it twice. So that's probably 3 ticks. I'm not a ticky guy, but that's what that is. You place it down and press it twice, and that's how you get all of these. They go the entire length. And then what you have is again, you go up and down, and you have more repeaters, this time on no tick delay. Then what you have above the repeaters is pistons. These are sticky pistons pushing up. That's what sorts these. Then what you have behind the pistons and in front of these is you have a block. On top of that block you have redstone torches, and below you have redstone torches again, but on a diagonal going into that block. So if you want to build that, I will go on this side because it's a lot easier to see. There you go. If you want to build that, there's the system. Nice and simple to do. Hopefully that helps you with that little part. So, when you press this button to send out an item, a signal goes through here into this block, which goes into this torch to invert the signal. That then goes up here, and then to turn on that light, which is this. Oh, where's my thing gone? There. To turn on this light there, that is what this piece of redstone does. That triggers that light. And same for this side. Again, this time though, we just have a little system that comes around and it will turn on this light. Again, same situation, but again, the top lights only work with the buttons. So only if you press these top buttons will activate these top lights. The bottom ones are triggered separately. So going back to here, this is a nice and simple system. Once the signals come around here, it just goes into a repeater to activate and prolong the signal back to 15 so we can get all of this. And then it just goes into these repeaters set to standard no tick delay. And then of course when your block is pushed up by the piston, it goes into these droppers, which will have all of the items in, which the droppers flow into here, down into this water stream, and down into the collection zone. Of course here, this is where all of your items are going to be stored. You're going to be wanting some hoppers just going into these droppers with chests on top. They can be whatever size chests you like. You can have as many chests as you like, going on for as long as you like, depending on how many items you want to store. So we have this little item, this little redstone extending pulse thing, and what this does. So over here we have this pulse extender, and what this does is this activates the top light. So if we go down here, you'll see that runs into this light, into this block, which activates that light. And this basically keeps the light on for a while. There's no actual timing as such. When that light's on, you can still send an order. It's just for the player to know that you probably should wait until the item's off. And then of course for the other light, which is on the other side, the signal turns down here and goes along into this block with a bunch of repeaters into this, which goes up here and into that block. And both of those lights turn on and off at roughly the same time. So yeah, that's how the lights and button system works. When you press this button here, this is the send button, all that happens is a line of redstone runs down here into this block, which sends off the minecart. In terms of the minecart, all we have is a few hoppers running into the hopper minecart just there, and then of course on the other side you can see we've got this same decoder system flipped around on the other side. So when the minecart comes up here, it goes round here and stops on here, because what happens is when the minecart gets here and starts depositing items, before it has a chance to go back along the track, what happens is this comparator gets an output going into this block here, which powers this redstone torch, going up to this block, powering that block, which then powers this redstone dust. This redstone dust is what's powering this piece of rail, so when that's off, the minecart can't move back. This redstone torch then goes into this torch line on the side, which eventually goes into this torch line and up to here. And what that does is activates this redstone signal going along here into this pulse extender, which goes along here and activates this redstone lamp to let you know that your item is being packaged at the back. Going back over here, we also have, as you can see, another redstone line. This one goes from this side, and what happens is we have this system here. So once the items have been all delivered, the minecart will go back around, and it will go around the system accordingly. Now, on this side, we've got this, which we don't really need this anymore, but all this is for is to get this minecart track to go that way. Now the reason we don't have it on this side is because the minecart is already going to go that way. So just bear that in mind. Sometimes you may need to have a little detector rail to flip your minecart track. So going back to these detector rails then, when the minecart steps on these detector rails, on this side probably a better example, this one over here, when it's travelling back, it sends a signal up here, and of course this one just comes around, up this torch tower, nice and simple round here, and again it goes up here this time, all the way across, comes down the system, around the system, underneath all of the system, nice and higgledy-piggledy redstone there. And then what it does is it goes this way, and this is what sends off the old minecart. It also pulls back this piece, this block. There's normally a solid block here. That's what pushes that back to allow the minecart to travel through. What else have we got? Yep, that just goes into a repeater, into a torch, into the redstone piston. And again, same little redstone line into the piston. And that is about it for this. This redstone line isn't needed anymore, apart from that section. So, that's why that bit's needed. Yes, that makes sense. Okay, Happy's dumb. So yes, this is, the second part is needed. So underneath the areas here, underneath the detector rails on both sides, we have this redstone system, and what this does is it takes an output into here, and what that does is inverts the signal to turn on the redstone torch, and that is what sends off the minecart to be replaced down here. Now we'll get onto this little system in a minute because this bit's quite confusing, but again, all that happens here is with the hoppers back with the unloading system from the item storage area is they just funnel into this minecart chest. So with this system over here, what we've got is we've got a detector rail. Now this detector rail sends an output into this observer here, which goes into this one. Both of these two observers are facing that way, and then there's one facing up here. A redstone dust is on there with a repeater going into here, which goes back into this pulse extender, and this pulse extender is a separate pulse extender to the one that is somewhere else, which is there. So this pulse extender is what turns on this redstone lamp. And I believe that is about everything. If I haven't covered anything and you'd like to learn more, the world download will be in the description. I'll probably put both world downloads. I'll put the one that has the storefront and the one that just looks like this. So if you want to come and have a look at the redstone for yourself and get a better feel for it, the world downloads will be in the description. So yeah. Huge shout out to Hermitcraft Season 6, by the way. Sahara is brilliant, but Zahara is just... yeah. Let's not go into a Sahara war just because we can sell 10 more items, but, you know, we don't mention that because Sahara is brilliant. But yeah, that's about it. It's pretty much the same on the other side, just flipped. But, yeah, I showed you this side because this is the main bit. This has got all of the main components. This bit normally just feeds into that side because there's no point building the same thing twice. For example, here, there's no point building that bit twice. So yep, if you'd like to learn more, the world downloads are in the description. Thank you for watching this video. Hope you enjoyed it. Hope you learned something. And I'll see you in the next video on Monday. Bye, everyone.